I believe everybody has a story. How they got here, where they came from. If we were writing a book about Frank Castillo, what would the title of your story be?
I don't even know. That's a great question. I don't know how to answer that really right off the top of my head. Maybe the Frank Castillo story. That'd be about the only thing I could think of. I mean, you caught me off guard right there. But yeah, no, I think, yeah, that would probably be it.
How'd you get into coaching in the first place?
It's a crazy story, really, is because my uncle, who has since passed, was coaching his son's team, and it was my uncle and another guy, and they were both really busy with their jobs, and they really couldn't do any of it, and somehow or another, it all got put back on me, and so I coached it was I think it was a boys club team actually, and I can't even remember the grade, but it was a young team. And one thing led to another. I met a guy by the name of Mike Corcoran. He taught me a lot about, drills and basketball and those types of things. And then, I just started coaching through the parochial league. From the parochial league, I got a job at Cibola High School. Louis Iannone was the coach there, and he gave me the JV to start with. And then when he left, he recommended me for the head job, and I got that at Cibola. And then from Cibola, after probably about 8 years, I decided that I was going to apply for this job at La Cueva because it was closer to home. And it was a new challenge. Joe Vivian, who was one of my mentors at Cibola, the great wrestling coach, I'm sure you heard his name before. He had moved from Albuquerque High to Manzano to Cibola. And then after Cibola, I think he even went to Albuquerque Academy. And he always told me that, moving wasn't such a bad thing. And so I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. Not knowing what I was going to get up here. I had a good team at Cibola, but I thought, well, moving wouldn't be a bad thing. I wasn't unhappy at Cibola, but I thought, moving wouldn't be a bad thing. And then that's how I got the La Cueva job.
Let's go back even further. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Albuquerque. I went to
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Sandia High School. I graduated a long time ago from Sandia. We don't need to say when, but my athletic career at Sandia wasn't really great, to be honest with you. I got cut from my basketball team, and it just wasn't good enough at that time. Actually, they were really good. When I was a sophomore, they won state, and then junior and senior years, they probably weren't as good, but they were still pretty good. Sandia was the La Cueva or the Cleveland of Albuquerque at that time. It was a brand new school, and I don't know. I just got into coaching just kind of a weird way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy who, like you said, got cut from his high school team, was that motivation to get into coaching, or
No,
did it just steer you in a different path?
Well, no, not really. I don't know if it was motivation. I mean, I still played in leagues. At the time, it wasn't the parochial league like it is now, but there was a league that they ran during the summertime, and myself and that the Catholic churches ran during the summertime, and a couple of friends of mine and some other people that we knew would get into those leagues, and I played in those leagues for quite a few years. And then once I got to UNM, I did all the stuff that all students do, get involved in intramurals and those kinds of things. So I always kept playing, and I always tried to keep competing, but no, it wasn't really a motivation. I still had the opportunities to play. I still know the game. I mean, I know how to play the game, and I know what the fundamentals are and those kinds of things. But it's just a different path.
What is it about basketball that you love? I mean, what makes you gravitate towards this sport? I mean, you've been so successful in it.
Well, because we've had great coaches and great players. Honestly, I mean that's part of the formula. I don't know. I think it's fun to coach the kids in practice, and I think what made me gravitate, it's just fun. It's a fun thing to do. You get to meet good people and good coaches and good friends that I've made over the years, from teaching physical education to and getting to know guys like Matt Henry, Joe Vivian, Ron Warren, all really good educators. I think that the teaching part was a big part of it for me, to be a physical education teacher. I actually started off as a biology teacher because I have a minor in biology, so I taught biology for a few years, and then I got into PE, and I've coached PE ever since. So I guess it's the excitement of the game. I think it's a fast game. There's a lot of scoring. There's a lot of quick decisions that the kids have to make defensively and offensively. So I think it's just the excitement. It's a fast game.
Yeah, you said it's fun. What's the most fun you've ever had coaching basketball?
Probably winning state championships.
What's that feeling like?
It's a great feeling. I mean, I can remember being on the bench, especially the last one that we had. The last one we won was in 2010. The first one was exciting too. I mean, all of them have their own stories, to be honest with you. But I can remember being really excited at the 2010 because all those other state championships, well, the 2010 one, we kind of wrapped it up in the fourth quarter. And the kids were excited and they were high-fiving. And one of my sons was coaching at the time and the other one was playing. And I just remember, the feeling of having them there was pretty neat, So I think that was the most fun.
Looking back, is there a time when you thought on the bench, man, this is not fun?
When you're getting your butt beat by a lot of points, it's no fun. But no, not really. I don't think that even in the times when we haven't been, very successful, whether it was at Cibola or here at La Cueva, you do different things to see if the kids are engaged in what you want them to do. And like even if you're down, 15 points or 20 points with a minute to go, and you call out a play and they run that play, then you're like, okay, I still have them. I still got them. They're still engaged in what we're trying to get done. So I don't think there's ever been a time where I haven't had much fun, other than sometimes when you lose a close game, I guess.
You've been so successful, hundreds of wins, multiple state titles. Do you have a constant theme or a message or a motto or something that you preach to these kids year in and year out?
Well, we want them to play hard. I mean, that's the first thing. Go out and give it your best, whether you win or lose. Go out there and walk out off that court and saying, we did the best that we can. And kind of like I've talked about this a lot recently, and I think and I'm not even a fan of the Patriots, but they always talk about do your job. And I think that's a great theme, do your job, whatever that job may be, defensively, offensively, on the bench, whatever your job is, you make sure that you do your job. So play hard, do your job, and then have fun, have fun. It's a fun game. You're supposed to go out there and have fun doing it, and I think that's important. The kids need to realize that, okay, win or lose, we've done our best, we did our job, but at the same time, we had fun doing it.
Your job has been coaching now for decades, but I want to go back. You said you were originally a biology teacher.
Yes, I was.
What was that like? And what drew the interest in biology?
Actually, way back, and I'm not going to go back to the years, but way back then you had to take, as being a physical education major, you actually had to take quite a few science classes. I don't know why. But and so when I was doing that, I thought, if I take these 3 more classes, then I can get that minor, because you need a major and a minor back in the dark ages. But and that's what drew me to it. I've already had the hours, and then I went into teaching biology, and it was I learned a lot actually about teaching and engaging a classroom, and keeping people's interest and talking to them. You can only talk to kids for so long, and then they get a little bit bored. Same thing with coaching. You can only talk for so long, and then you lose them. And so I thought that was really important, being in the classroom, learning those things.
Yeah. Did you find a similarity, if there is one at all, between teaching biology and teaching physical education / basketball?
Yeah, I think that's real. There's a lot of similarities in it. I think you have to teach. Teaching is really important in the classroom, whether it be about a cell, about a frog, whatever it may be in biology. There's basic things that you have to teach. There's steps that you lead up to your final lesson, or making sure that the kids understand whatever it may be. And I think basketball is the same way. There's steps that you have to take. You have to teach them, offenses, defenses. You have to explain things. If they're having problems with something, you stop practice and then you go over it and then you try it again. And so it's repetition, I think. Repetition in learning, and then repetition on the basketball court. That's, especially of the fundamentals, I think that's really important.
What was it like when you were inducted into the Hall of Fame?
That was awesome. I've been inducted into 2 Hall of Fames. I've been inducted, well, let's see, I'm on 3. Well, one isn't. I think the Hall of Honor at the NMAA, that was special because my son gave the the speech, and Matthew did, and I thought that was pretty neat. Then I'm inducted into a National Hall of Fame, and I think we had to go to South Dakota for that. And that was really neat. The ceremony was nice, and it was really neat. And then the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, that was awesome. Getting a chance to sit up there in front of all those people and talk about the people that meant a lot to me and how they helped me over the years. My family especially. My mom and my dad and my sister, and of course my wife and my sons and everybody that's involved in it. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
When you had your son give a speech about you, what did he have to say?
What did he have to say?
Yeah, and how did it hit home with you?
No, he just talked. I read the speech the other day. For some reason, I saw it. And I remember thinking to myself that he really talked about, my ritual for pre-games, how I'd come home, and when he was younger, I'd come home and I'd go take a nap. And then after the nap, I'd get up, get ready, and go to the game. And then he talked about playing, for La Cueva, because I think it was 2007. He might have just graduated. I can't remember exactly, but how it was special for him and how he enjoyed, going through that. And then he just talked about the overall picture of what I've done as a coach, but not into too depth. I think it was more about just his relationship and the family relationship between me and them and basketball, and how important it was over all those years.
I ask you this every year that I see you. I've seen you coach and win games and win state titles, and you've been doing it for so long. How much more gas do you have in the tank? You see yourself doing it? I know you like to evaluate it at the end of every year. Now we're in the off season,
right,
and it seems your energy seems up. It seems like you're still into it. And
yeah, I'm coming back next year. It was tough after this season to decide what I was going to do. I had some personal tragedies. No, not a. Well, I guess it would be a personal tragedy because my mother passed away, and that that really kind of shook me up, and it still does. I mean, I think about her every day, and so that was like in the background. My mom suffered from Alzheimer's, and it's a debilitating. Yeah. It's an awful thing. And seeing her having to go through all of that, and how her life ended, it's been tough. It's been tough over the last 3 or 4 years, I think. And so that happened, and I thought to myself, man, do I really need to go back into coaching, and do I need to do, to do what I need to do? And my thought on the whole thing at that time was that, I don't know if I can. And so I just gave it more time, and you get your energy back, and you're always going to be thinking about him all the time. And so I thought to myself that, to come back, I needed a little bit more time. So I took some time away and took a week or two off where I just didn't even come around at all. And even when I came back, I questioned whether I should be back or not. But, I feel better about it now. And, we're going through summer league, and we're also doing, camps and those kinds of things. So, I'm coming back for one more year, and I'll see. If I have the gas, I'll go another year. If I don't, I won't.
During that reflective time that you took time away, what'd you discover? What brought you back?
I think probably guys like the coaches brought me back because they were so supportive of what was going on. The kids, I got several bunch of text messages from and emails from family and friends and those kinds of things. Coaches that from around the city, and I thought to myself, you know what? That's a pretty good network of people to be around, and I think I need to be around them for at least another year to see, to see what I'm going to do, and just to be around them because it was awesome. It was an awesome time.
Bringing it all full circle now, looking back on your life, how you got here, what you're doing. If we were to come up with a title now of your life story, because everybody has a story, what would it be? Do your job and have fun, or?
I don't know. Maybe something along the lines of that. I think that would probably be good. Do your job and have fun doing it. I think that would probably be too much about the Patriots.
Yeah. So maybe we shouldn't.
Well, maybe we shouldn't do that one. We have to figure out something else.
Okay. Good deal. Thanks for
All right.
coming, Coach.
Yeah. Thank you.